This was a question I got from a few different people. I decided to go with David from Dallas. It says, what are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey calling the fans disgraceful and not wanting to be full-time anymore in WWE? So, Ronda was a guest on Steve-O's podcast this week. I didn't even know that Steve-O had a podcast. I'm surprised that Steve-O is still alive after some of the stunts that he's pulled. Very likely, she is working these comments. I think she would be better off as a heel again anyway, if she ever came back. But if we take her comments at face value, I know Ronda has had issues even going back to her fighting days with fans and not reacting well to... So it's very possible that she just does not react well to criticism, and she's being honest here. If we take what she's saying at face value, this is what she said. She said, I love the WWE. I had such a great time. I love all the girls in the locker room. Running out there having fake fights for fun is just the best thing. I love choreography. I love acting. I love theater. It's live theater, some of the last forms of live theater, and it's so fun, but I was doing basically part-time. And I was away from home over 200 days of the year, and when I did get home, basically I was so sleep-deprived that you just don't have time to lay down. Now, on the fans not appreciating her, she said this. We didn't need the money, so it's just like, what am I doing it for if I'm not able to spend my time and my energy on my family, but instead spending my time and energy on a bunch of fucking ungrateful fans that don't even appreciate me? And the thing is, I love performing, and I love the girls, and I love being out there, but at the end of the day, I was just like, fuck these fans, dude. My family loves me, and they appreciate me, and I want all my energy to go into them. So that was my decision. At the end of the day, it was like, hey girls, love what you're doing. I'm going to try and take all my momentum and push you guys as far as I can. Fly, little birds, fly. I'm going the fuck home. And that's basically it. If I ever do come back, it will never be at a full-time capacity ever again. I think for stints, chunks of time, but I'm never going to be full-time again. Over 200 days a year on the road, I needed to do it in order to learn and to get immersed into it and really understand what was going on, but it's just not the lifestyle for me. I don't have an issue with what Ronda said here. I know some people are freaking out. She's been trending. Her name has been trending on Twitter for the last 48 hours. She knows how to get under people's skin. I don't have an issue with what Ronda said. Some people like Lana and Alexa Bliss took exception to her using the word fake fights, to which Ronda later posted this comment. She had a follow-up. And she posted this comment with the hashtag kayfabe killer. She said, anyone who is outraged by me calling pro wrestling fake fights for fun has never been in a real fight. While you're all up tiptoeing around bruising some pro wrestlers' huge soft egos, no one is thinking about all the real fighters that you're insulting when pretending that pro wrestling is somehow on the same level of realism. Yes, I understand that wrestling 300 days a year for years on end is incredibly tough on the body and a difficult profession. But do you know what would happen if you got into 300 real fights in a year? You would be dead. She's healing it up. She's healing it up. Remember, people forget, Ronda Rousey was spotted at WWE headquarters about a month ago. Cain Velasquez posted that photo of the two of them together, which supposedly the company wasn't thrilled about. They didn't want people to know that she was there. But there she was. There she was in the hallways at WWE headquarters in Stamford. Why was she there? We don't know. We never found out. But there's more to this than meets the eye. Then you have Nia Jax. Nia Jax made her return to TV on Monday night. She is back. She had double ACL surgery. And now Nia Jax is back. And she's going on Twitter. And she's bloviating on Twitter that she's going to knock Ronda the F out if she ever gets another match with her. And then this was the coup de grace here for her tweet. She said, even if WWE tells me to make Ronda look good, I won't do it. I love how they freak out over the use of the word fake. But these people have no problem going on social media and exposing the wrestling business in every other possible way and telling people what they do is all just one big play act. Oh, I know WWE is going to tell me to go in there and do this and make her look good as part of the script, blah, blah, blah. Total lack of self-awareness. Total lack of self-awareness. Ronda would annihilate her if she ever tried something on her. She would take her arm, break it off, and beat her over the head with it. She would murder Nia Jax. Ronda, I miss Ronda in WWE. I do. Ever since she left, the women's division has felt stale. It has felt lifeless. It has not been the same. It has not been the same. And if we're being honest, the division has largely been awful since she left, at least on the Monday Night Raw side. And for somebody with as little experience as she had coming into, I know she was a wrestling fan, her whole life, but for somebody who had very little, if any, experience coming into this, she overachieved. I thought Ronda Rousey was very good. Her debut match at WrestleMania, tagging with Kurt Angle against Triple H and Stephanie, was probably the best match on the entire show at WrestleMania that year. The match that she had at Survivor Series with Charlotte was excellent. The Women's Evolution pay-per-view, they did one of them. Probably never would have happened. You wouldn't have had one were it not for Ronda Rousey being on that roster. She had a very good match with Sasha Banks at the Royal Rumble. WrestleMania, the main event last year, I thought was a bit of a dud, but but that's what happens after 7 hours when you're sitting there and the match starts at midnight. So that was a bit of a dud, but the back and forth between her and Becky, in social media, that night that they came face to face in the ring for the first time, nose to nose, and everybody's going crazy. That was great stuff. That was great stuff. People were into that more than any other face-to-face between two women that I've seen maybe ever. And it's too bad we never got a singles match between them. I would welcome her back. As a fan, I would welcome her back if she wanted to come back. My one criticism of what she said, if she was being honest and truthful, and it is possible that the comments are not totally worked, that there is some real emotion kind of feeding through there because she's had issues before with fans and people criticizing her. My one critique is that for somebody who picked up wrestling as fast as she did, if she is, shooting from the hip with her comments about the fans, then she still has a lot to learn. Because somebody who truly gets it would not get so rattled by the negative fan reaction. They would embrace it. They would use it against them. You don't cry about people not appreciating you. I don't get the hate for Ronda either. There's a lot of people who hate Ronda Rousey. All of a sudden, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people on social media I noticed yesterday have become big Nia Jax fans. Overnight. They've become big Nia. Oh, Nia Jax is standing up for the women's division. She's standing up to Ronda Rousey. I love all these Fairweather fans who all of a sudden are big, for this week, until next week, of course, when she's back on TV. They're big Nia Jax fans. I don't get the hate for Ronda. I thought Ronda brought a lot of positive attention to the company. I thought she acquitted herself very well in the ring. I don't get all the hate for her either, but instead of crying about it and running home, embrace it. Use it. Turn it right back in their faces. I have to believe this is all a work, because if it's not, then you could add Ronda Rousey, I guess, with Edge and Seth Rollins to the list of overly sensitive WWE stars who can't take criticism. In the mid-90s, Vince McMahon promoted the new generation. Remember the new generation of the WWF? Star Trek had the next generation. WWE today has what I would call the softest generation. They're very delicate, like a little flower. The slightest criticism, and they wilt. They wilt like a flower. But I would welcome heel Ronda back with open arms if she ever wanted to come back. I think she's a natural.